Hey there fellow crafters, my name is George and this is the Spare Time G, and today we're going to create BD1 from the new Star Wars game, The Fallen Order. So probably I will have to preface this before I start, that I haven't really played the game itself, but I have seen some walkthroughs, gameplay, trailers and cinematics, and I got familiar to this guy, which is quite funny looking and great character as well, what I have seen from the cinematics, and wanted to replicate this guy. Unfortunately right now everybody is talking about this baby Yoda thing from the new series, and everybody is missing out for BD1, which to be honest reminds me to the Wall-E from that Pixar movie which came out many years ago, of the truck, very cute robot cleaning the earth itself. Of course, playing with the robots and making them the most important and toughest. The most difficult thing is to create them as angular and as plain as possible. Unfortunately, many of them have these plain surfaces, very sharp corners and turns. This guy is not the exception. As you can see, the head needs to be as angular and as symmetric as possible. And if you mess that up, it's going to look more cartoony and more clay-like. And the hardest thing about the clay is that its roundiness. It is very easy to create something look round and look clayish, so to say. And robot or any kind of technological thing is pretty much the opposite of that. As you can see right now, I'm playing and creating the head for the project, and right now I have started working with the feet. Actually, this is going to be the base for the guy, for the feet themselves, in order for him to stand. And right now, as you can see, it cannot really stand by its own because of this only one-sided hook from the wire. That's why I have decided to create a smaller, thinner part and attach it to it using some kind of duct tape. To be honest, making a use from hot glue would have been much more easier at this stage, but unfortunately I have not really had an access to it, and that's why I have come up with this duct tape idea, which of course will be covered later on. The top part is created by the copper. It's not really important what type and base you want to use for that. I went with copper because it was much easier to shape it. Right now the main thing is to create the basic thickness for the legs in order to then carve them up. I wanted to talk a little bit about the proportions I went with this model. It's a bit different from the game. I wanted it to be more realistic, so to say, like having smaller head in comparison to the actual body. That's because I wanted the center of the gravity to be lower in order to prevent the robot from flipping over, and because of this lack of any kind of limbs like hands and only being bipedal, it's going to be a very tough thing for this design to try to stand up after it is flipped over. That's why I have gone with the proportional difference in small part, but the basic thing about the body design, style, color and details pretty much the same as with the originals. And after attaching the head to the body, our model is done. I'm quite happy with this result, despite looking quite tiny and easy to create. Creating these sharp corners and plain surfaces was a big time consumer, and at the same time I'm quite happy with the result, of course, but you can always go even longer, spending even more hours in order to refine the details and create more robotic and less clayish look. At this stage I'm quite satisfied with the model, especially with the look, details. Even my favorite parts are these wires sticking out from the head and the legs. And yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project as much as I enjoyed creating it. The size is not imposing at all, but I hope people who are more into sculpting and have done such projects will appreciate the detailing and time it should have taken for me. And yeah, that was it. Have a nice day and see you next time. Goodbye.